Good morning. Hello, everyone.
Hello and welcome back to the Reconnected Women podcast. So, the last two episodes, we went through both of our journeys so you can get an idea of just who we are and what we've been through. And now we're going to get into the fun stuff of just chatting about experiences and whatever comes up for us. So, today we are talking about Rachel.
We're reflecting on this new moon in Cancer that Grace does with its presence in late June last week, as we're recording this. And the new moon in Cancer is all about nurturing ourselves, home and family, and new beginnings. So I definitely know that Chantel and I experienced some amazing sort of synchronistic experiences on that week. So, Chantel, do you want to start with what happened with you
It,
um,
yeah,
around the new moon?
it's actually, do you want to talk about the new moon first and like what the
Yeah.
meaning is behind it?
So it's essentially we're making space for new beginnings, and sometimes there's a huge releasing process in depending on where we're at, if we need to let things go for this new beginnings phase. So, especially like Cancer is such a nurturing, it's a water sign, I believe. Yeah. And the focus is on really relationships, family, home, and the self, inner child healing as well. So, experiences might have come up in relation to that. And yeah, that's my
It's so
understanding of it
funny when you
anyway.
say that because I'm just reflecting on my experience and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's literally what it was all about.
Really?
Yeah. And it's so interesting because remember how I was saying to you, when I first fell pregnant, that I just feel so ungrounded. I just feel
Yes.
so disconnected. Whereas prior to falling pregnant, I there it's really hard to describe, but I felt connected. I felt like I could pick up on other people's energies. I felt like there was that connection. Whereas as
Yeah.
soon as I fell pregnant, it's like I just this cord got cut and I'm just like the walls were just shut down.
Yeah. Almost
And
like a protective bubble.
yeah, and whenever you were saying, "Oh, are you feeling this energy of like what's happening astrologically?" and I'm like, "Nah, I'm not feeling a thing. I don't know what everyone else is going on about. I'm just all in my own bubble." Um, and then last week I didn't even realize it was a new moon, but last week I had quite
Right.
an interesting experience. Um, so I was at my acupuncturist appointment. Things were just going as they always do, um, just having some small talk, and then she's putting in the
Yeah.
needles, and because I was suffering with hip pain, good old pregnancy hip pain, and then also my jaw has been really tight recently, like just feels really
Right.
tense, like I'm clenching. And honestly, I just put it all down to, especially like the jaw, hips, put it all down to just pregnancy stuff. And she's like, yep, we can go through that. And so she put the needles in for the hips, went away, let me rest, came back. And then she put stuff in for my jaw. And there was one to do with my stomach, and it was around my head area.
Oh.
And she put those ones in, went away to let me rest. And I just kind of felt a little, I don't know, anxious isn't the feeling. It was just this like, oh, something doesn't feel right. And I was trying to get a bit more comfortable because obviously I can't lie on my back. So I'm upright a little bit. And then there's just something in the back of my mind that's like, oh, I feel like I need to be more upright. I feel like I'm lying down too much. So I'm trying to move there. And then I just start feeling really hot. Like I'm just getting so, like I'm feeling like really clammy. And I'm just like, I'm
Oh
so
no.
uncomfortable right now. And then the anxiety started to come up, and I was like, okay, something's not right.
Um,
And so I called out to her, and I was like, she came in, and I was like, I'm so hot right now and so uncomfortable. Like, I feel like a sweaty Betty. And she was like, okay, something's happening. We're moving some energy. She's like, that's a good thing. I'm like, okay, that's good because it doesn't feel good for me.
no.
And so she starts to pull out all these needles. And then as soon as she removed all the needles, I just started to like it was a feeling that I'm very much aware of because I've done a lot of emotional releasing with my healing journey, and I was like, oh, this is coming up. Okay, so I could feel my heart racing, I could feel my eyes starting to tear up, and I was like, I'm just gonna let it flow. And I just started crying, and then she's like, absolutely, do what you've got to do. She left the
Wow.
room. And I started sobbing, like full on grief, sadness, sobbing. Um, and
Do you know what it was?
I,
Could you identify?
well, at the beginning, no. And I've also I've learnt that I don't need to know the reason behind every emotional release. I think it's so
Yeah.
easy. Well, like it's so natural for us to make meaning out of everything and be like, oh, why am I feeling this way? Why is this coming up? And what I've just learned is that sometimes our body just needs to release whatever it's been holding on to, and it doesn't need to mean
Yeah.
anything. And so I just let that be and just let it all out. And I think that also has a lot to do with the work that I've done as well for myself, that I do feel very comfortable and safe and confident
In your
to
emotion.
just let out my emotions and not be thinking, oh gosh, I can't like do this here. Like, what's she gonna think? This is just weird. I'm overreacting. I'm being so emotional. I I'm just not there anymore. I don't those thoughts just don't come anymore. I'm just so in my space of being like, I just need to let this flow. And obviously it has a lot to do with the space that you're in as well, right? Um,
Yeah. That's
but as
amazing.
yeah, so as I let it flow, and my acupuncturist came back in and she gave me all these tissues, and she didn't have any tissues. She just gave me all these like paper towels. She's like, I'm sorry, I don't have tissues. Um, and we just started chatting through things. She's like, oh, what's coming up for you? And I just had this big epiphany where I was like, oh my God, I have been in this, I've got this mode where with the pregnancy, I've done all the research. I'm a massive researcher, and I have this mindset, or this determination to have a natural hospital birth with low intervention and to happen spontaneously. And so I've done all the research. I'm preparing myself. I'm doing all the right things, right? Seeing the acupuncturist, chiropractor, doing the movements, just everything to
Yeah.
support my body. And I realized that I just fell so much into I've got this, that I was so in the masculine that I didn't even, I guess, have the awareness of the fears that were subconsciously there. And in
Yeah.
that moment, there was just something that my acupuncturist just opened up this channel to break down those walls and allow that emotion and those fears to come through. And it was like the floodgates. Just this realization that yes, I do have fear around the birth. Yes, I do have fear around the pain. I have so much fear around
Yeah.
having done all this research and prepared so much and worked so hard for the birth that I really want, and then it doesn't happen. And so, yeah, I had this epiphany that I'd been so caught up in doing all of the right things that I subconsciously pushed these fears that I had aside. Like, I was like, no, I'm all good. Like, I don't have any fears. It's all good. And at the same time, I had this realization that I was like, oh, this is an old pattern of mine to be in this I've got this mode of this hyper independent, lone wolf. I can do this, I can handle all of this mode. And I I guess also because like my husband's just got so much going on with work. Like we just moved back from Melbourne and he's in this new role and trying to find his feet there and flying interstate every other week. And
Wow.
subconsciously again, I've got this mode because I'm like, well, he's dealing with his stuff. I don't want to burden him with all of my fears and all of these things because I know he's got his own fears around and nervousness around the birth and becoming a parent and all of that. And it was like the floodgates opened and all at once all of these things are just coming at me where I'm like, okay, these are all my fears. Okay, like at the same time I'm seeing these fears but also from a different perspective of um okay, yes, you've got these fears but it's also not on you to hold it all. You don't have to do it all. And
Yes. I was just going to say you need to allow yourself to be supported as well.
yeah, and it's also not fair on my husband for me to take that away from him.
Yes.
To be like, okay, I'm not going to allow you in because you've got your own stuff going on. Like we're a team and
Mm.
we're going through this as a team and he shares his stuff with me. So why am I not sharing my stuff with him? But it was all subconscious. It wasn't like I
Mm.
was, going about my day and having this thought of, oh, what if, you know, like, what if this, what if that, what if that? I just didn't even allow myself to have those thoughts come up. It was like I was so much in this, like, I've got this, I can do this. I'm doing all of the research. And yeah, it would just, as soon as I had this realization, and yeah, like, I just let it all out. Like, there was just so much grief and sadness and awareness and aha moments and relief and it was just this massive bag of emotions just coming out. And honestly, there is nothing better than a good cry.
Yeah.
I just felt so much lighter afterwards to just finally let it out. And yeah, I just felt so much lighter and so much more empowered because I mean, I was talking to a friend afterwards and she was like, I would be worried if you didn't have didn't have fears.
Yeah.
But I was just so
Exactly.
in this mode, right? And it was really beautiful because that night hubby came home, I told him about my session and I
I was
just
just going to ask that. I'm like, surely this led to you, sharing everything with Ryan and yeah.
yeah. So we were in the kitchen. I was just telling him about my appointment and then all of like literally what I just told you. I was just telling him all about and he's like, "We're a team. We've got
Mm.
this. I can handle that." And here I was taking his power away by saying like he can't handle this. Well, who
Yeah.
am I to say that he can't handle that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just such a beautiful day and it was a massive shift, such
Yeah.
a massive shift. And after that, yeah, it's like my mood shifted, and I think it was just a very emotional week as well because I cried a lot. The hormones were all
Oh.
over the place. I cried at a Britain's Got Talent
Oh.
audition, so it was all my eyes out. So the emotions were still flowing for the rest of the week, but it needed to happen, right? It needed to
Yeah.
happen because I'd just been holding it in for so long, and that old pattern of mine. And I guess, you know, when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's like, um, we think that we've worked through something, and then it comes again. It's like, oh,
Rears its head.
there it
Hello.
is. But it's just in a different way, right? Like a new level, a new devil.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was my new moon experience.
Wow. But you know what? It's actually, I feel like it's put you on this path of, okay, this is where we're moving forward as a team, supported, and that's truly what you need moving into parenting. You know, it's great. It's great. You're
Yeah.
getting in that path. I feel like it's all happening, obviously, for a reason.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I just look back in hindsight of the different thoughts that I had. I'm like, Ryan just has no idea what the process is going to be, like what I'm going through, what I'm going to be going through, all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, he's not because I'm holding back everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so funny how we as women we just put on this, and it's a society thing as well, right? That we need to have it all together, and we need to, you know, do all the things and be this superwoman. And honestly, it's just a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%. I think that I actually wonder if it's due to, you know, um, the, back in history, women were, I guess, silenced and put into these certain roles where they were just the caretakers of the house and the children and everything. And then we've moved from that to no, we want to be independent women. We want to be working. We want to have careers. We want to do everything that we want to do. Like the sky's the limit as to. And I remember having that narrative in my early 20s. Like I want to do everything. I want to have it all and do it all at the same time. And then fast forward now, it's like, oh no, there's got to be that balance of like having support and nurturing yourself. And yeah, it's like we've gone from one extreme to the next, and then we're having to relearn what it's like to be a balanced woman in today's society.
Absolutely. It's like feminism has just gone too far,
Mm.
where it's like, I don't need anyone. I don't need a man. I don't need a partner. I've got this all on my own. And that's just not supportive as well because we need both
Yeah.
of the masculine and the feminine energies, which we
Mhm.
can both incorporate. But as women, we are here to be supported. That
Mm.
is how we thrive. We
Yeah.
can't do it alone, even though I've thought that that's what I need to do for like most of my
Yeah.
life. And this is a healing that I'm going through still
Mm.
of bringing a community together. I mean, like, no, I don't need to do it alone. I don't want to do it alone anymore.
Mm.
I want to have that community. I want to have that support. I want to feel supported and nourished. And I want someone to look after me, but also it's not like this damsel in distress type thing, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's just another layer of that whole healing and that lone wolf wound, and the new moon is absolutely showing that to me.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm,
wow.
yeah.
Powerful new moon for you, hey?
Yeah, yeah. So, what was your experience?
Um, right. Well, I had on the new moon the Oh, that's right. I'm trying to think. There was a couple of things happening. So, on the actual day itself, we were like major, like my husband was getting a new car, so it was like a major asset. And that was actually something I looked into with the new moon. It was there's a rearrangement of assets and getting things in line and getting rid of some. And we were in the process of getting rid of one and obtaining another. So that was happening on the day. But also I had a fertility specialist appointment. So it's my first one that I've had since the first lot of IVF and everything. And I was a bit anxious about it, and I remember just going in. Me and my husband went in, and I was like, can't be late. It's got to be perfect. I got into that mode of trying to control everything. Like, it's got to be perfect and work out and be prepared. And it was like an 8 a.m. appointment, but we were like, I was like, can we get there at like 7:50? Like, I just wanted everything to go right. Anyway, we got there at 7:45 or 7:50. Like, I was super early. Went in, and we waited and waited for the specialist, and she walked into the building 8:10, just chill, like, hey. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not really professional, but hey, maybe it's, traffic or whatever. And I was just trying to be all chill about it. And anyway, she went into her office, and she was there for like another 20 minutes, so we didn't get seen until 8:30. And I was just like, of course, like, I get here early, I'm putting 110% into this, and she doesn't care. And I guess, like, I've had this feeling sometimes when I've seen doctors and specialists where they're like, almost like it's that power, like, your time's not worthy, I felt like. And I was like, you know what, my time is precious as well. Like, my husband had taken time off work, and we'd like rushed to get there in the morning, or dropped all our usual routine to get there early. And then this woman didn't really care. Like, she was just walks out at 8:30. Oh, hi, sorry I'm late. And I'm like, are you sorry though? Like, and I was like, you could have come straight out, but no, you waited 20 minutes from when you walked in. Anyway, this is me going off on tangents. So we went in anyway, and she starts going through my story. So I think when you're telling story, when you've told your story so many times too, I could just feel myself getting a bit flustered, and she wasn't empathetic, and I was like, I'm not getting a good vibe. Like, I'm not getting the vibe from her. She wasn't really attentive or showing any emotional support to me. She was obviously typing and listening, and then she asked about my husband's side of stuff and whether his sperm had been tested, and I was like, yeah, but it's been a while. And we gave them all the results and paperwork. I had everything there. And she was like, oh, okay, look, I'm going to do an internal scan, ultrasound, to check everything and see how you are. Because her main focus, so the reason we got sort of referred to her was through my sister and a friend of hers, and they apparently work with women. She apparently works with women who have a issue receiving an embryo. So if your body's like attacking it, or you're having some sort of reaction, and she does all this blood work and testing to make sure that your immune system's not rejecting what you're trying to do. So when she had a look at everything, she's like, right, let's go do an ultrasound. And she had a look at my like my ovaries, cervix, and everything. And one of the most amazing things out of all this negative experience so far was, she said to me, the adenomyosis that I had, which I mentioned I think on previous pod, had completely gone. And I was like, oh my God, yes! All the healing I'd done had completely gone. So that sort of alleviated the fear of like that, and also that was clear. I was just on a bit of a new path. So we went back up to her office, and she was like, look, I can't help you. I just don't think I'm the right fit for you. You really need someone working with the two of you. I specialize in working with women, and we do as least invasive work as possible. It's mainly just like immune therapy stuff with the woman and you just need to see another specialist. So I was pretty devastated at the time. I was like, oh, what a waste. Like the amount of money, obviously, to see specialists as well. It was like, hey, we've hit another wall, another brick wall. Great. Okay. And she was like, look, there's another doctor here who I think would be amazing for you too. And he's had his own experience with fertility and he will just be able to help you both. And I really think it's a good idea that you see him. So I was like, okay, fine. We'll go down, and we spoke to reception and we told them all about what this doctor had recommended. And she was like, hang on a second, I'm just going to see if he's available. And he was. And he was like, this felt like synchronistic because he just stepped because of the bad experience we just had with this lady. And I'm not saying she was a bad doctor or anything, but it just didn't feel right. And I was like, okay, I'm glad it didn't work out because it didn't feel right. And then this doctor invited us in. He was like, I'm not going to charge you. I just want to sit with you for like 5-10 minutes, have a chat. I was like, oh my God, I've never had this experience with a doctor before. He was just so relatable. He had the best energy and vibes, and yeah, he was just like, right, before you come and see me and make an appointment, I'd rather do some testing beforehand so we're not wasting your time again. So he got all these forms out, was filling everything out and saying, right, go and get this testing, and when we make the appointment we can review the results and we can get a plan into action. And I was like, yes. And he was just amazing. I just couldn't believe it. And when we walked out, my husband and I were like, he was awesome. He agreed with how much I liked him, and we both didn't really vibe with the other lady. So yeah, it was like this magical turnaround on the day of like redirection. Hey, this is like the doctor, but no, she's not right. This is the path forward. So I feel very hopeful now that is part of our new beginning for the new moon. But I also had a lot of releasing around that time as well, just like shedding the past process that I'd been through and just letting the emotions out, and then just being excited about this new beginning. I think there's still fear there, like that's just going into this week now and knowing that this specialist appointment review is coming up. I'm like, oh, I can definitely feel the fear coming up because of that uncertainty of which way is it going to go. Is it good
So
news?
natural.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that was it.
I love that. I just love how things just work out so perfectly.
Yeah. And that's not like, even when you have, or you think you have free will, sometimes the universe steps in and just redirects you and you're like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Like, and I think one of the things I've had to learn is like, as someone that gets anxious about being out of control or being like that uncertainty, we all have to surrender to life. Like no matter what happens, we have to surrender and trust in the process. But I have tried to like really hone in on my intuition and be like, right, maybe this is feeling right. Maybe I should do this. And then I just overthink and I'm not really trusting and surrendering, you know?
Mhm.
And that's my constant lesson is like trust and surrender and have patience. I feel like that's the literal reason I'm through this journey.
Oh my God, exactly the same. After my experience, I was just like, okay, this is a reminder to just trust and surrender to the whole process and just let it flow and stop trying to control everything.
Yeah. Because control makes us feel like we have certainty, right? It's like, okay, if I can control this, it just, for me, it was always like a bit calming to have control. It wasn't that I wanted to control people. It was like, it was a way for my nervous system to be okay. If I could control things, it meant when in reality, I just need to work on my nervous system being okay.
It's the whole thing around safety. Like that's just what we do in order to feel safe in our body, is that if we don't have control, then we don't feel safe in our body. Yeah, it's like peeling an onion bit by bit. Next experience, okay, this thing's coming up. And then spirit or universe or whatever you call it
Yeah.
steps in and guides us. And yeah, because was because you're also working with a homeopath for your fertility as well.
Mm.
And was that in the same week?
Actually, yeah. So it just seems like it was a while ago now, but that was so that same week, I think it was 4 days earlier, I had a full on case taking with the homeopath. So she went through our stories, like they go through everything, like examining your family history, your family dynamics, your health history throughout your family and yourself and my partners. And it was just like, wow, that was also the theme, I guess, that week was probably telling my story, realizing it, feeling all the emotions as they come through, and it was like, I guess in some way it was quite cathartic to keep telling the story, realizing it, letting it go. But she was really good in the sense that I haven't had any results as to what way forward with her, but she's got some direction as to how to assist us, and we get told that in the next week, I think. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I love that you are doing both sides. So you've got the holistic side and then you also got the more scientific side. It'll just
Yeah.
be so cool to follow your journey and see what comes out of both of them.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that that's the path that you need, I believe, is sort of best, is being open to all sides of health. Because when you get burnt with one side, no matter which side it is, everyone has their own experiences and they base what they do next off their emotional experience. I believe that's definitely what I did. So I was diverted from traditional health to natural health because I had such a bad experience. But in reality, you can also have really good experiences in that field, and that helps heal your past experience. So having both working together, I think, gives you optimal chance of balancing yourself, your body, and overall health. So I really hope that the knowledge that I gain from it can help others to just, and I think moving forward, it's something so many of us could utilize for everyday health. Like,
Mhm.
I'd love to see both health systems blended in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. We need more of it. Absolutely. That integrative approach. So,
Yeah,
and I think
because
there's definitely a shift. There's a shift happening.
there is a shift happening. Because, I mean, you and I know, Chantel, how many separate practitioners we've seen
Hmm.
who, and they've all got their own skills and have helped in their own way. But I still feel sometimes that each practitioner is not getting the whole picture at times. And you're like, oh, going through all these processes, and yeah, it can be drawn out, and I would just love to save people the time that you and I have gone through, hey, in doing that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I feel like the theme for the new moon for us was definitely to trust and
Yeah.
surrender and release.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
Well, thanks everyone for listening to the Reconnected Woman.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.